Hey, it's MK, and I am here with another kit conspiracy layout for you guys today, and I am working with week 4's kit that I shared with you guys yesterday. So I have these 3 photos of my friend Cindy and I heading to our Wyoming retreat. I thought that these papers would be absolutely perfect for this retreat. I also have these letters and alphas from Thickers. I'm going to be using just this one piece of paper, which is from the photographer. It's paper number 4. So there it is. It's just the photographer set. And I'm going to try to use just this one paper, which I said 6 times already, and my embellishments. So I've got the chippies picked out from Mintay as well as the chipboard stickers. This one here, I was looking for the paper collection, but I think it's just photography. I really don't think that it's for a specific collection, but it did come out with this Mamarazzi set. And so I've got the stickers from the Mamarazzi, and then I have the die cut pack as well. And I'm actually going to go through my original die cut pack, which has a bunch of other little elements in with it, but I only pick out things from the Mamarazzi set, if that makes any sense. So I have these 3 photos and I printed them based off of the film strips already pre-printed on the paper. And now I'm just trying to decide of placement and see where I want these pictures to go. And I'm pretty happy with them being centered like this. And then I definitely wanted the more orangey one off to the side because that was, I want to say, not the last picture, because I think the selfie that Cindy took of us was the last picture. But it is a little vibrant compared to the other 2 pictures. And the conversation in the car was more like Cindy doesn't get to see sunrises very often, and I don't get to see sunsets very often. So it was pretty cool. And I just kept going, oh, that's really pretty. Hint, hint. That's really pretty. Hint, hint. And Cindy's like, oh, did you want me to take a picture of that? So it was very, very pretty. I really do enjoy sunrises, and they're just magnificent. And sometimes they're just wow. So anyways, I'm going to cut out the inner side or the intersection of these frames and then tuck my picture behind. So that way it looks like it's part of the paper instead of trying to make it work on top of the frame, because I didn't want to cut my photo down and try to keep guessing where this film strip was. So I thought it would be easier if I just ended up cutting out the middle and then going ahead and taping it down. So I'm just going to use some washi tape to help me hold that down. And I'm going to do this twice actually. And then of course, anything that was on top of the frame, I tried to keep on top of the frame. So like this one here has a little bud and leaf protruding into the area. And so I just went ahead and kept those. I'm not sure about my picture here. There's a lot of dead space up in the top of the picture frame. So I'm not really sure how I'm going to approach that section. So for right now, I'm going to ignore it. And then for this one, there was a portion of the frame that I did not cut out because as you can see up at the top, the frame was a little bit taller than what my picture was. And so I went ahead and cut another section. I think it was another film strip that was inside this frame. And so I went ahead and used that border, which takes your eye away from the fact that it really doesn't fill in the gap. And I am perfectly okay with that. So for this frame, or for this picture here, I'm actually going to put it on top because I did not like when I cut out the middle and it being just this itty bitty skinny little rectangle. I honestly didn't like it. Plus the flowers didn't look good. I mean, it just was, it was just really weird. So I decided that I was just going to keep it right on top and put, actually I put the cutout section back in the back in the paper that I originally cut out. And I totally skipped all that, you guys, because of the fact that it was just a hot mess. Now I'm taking some of the intersections that I cut out from both of my previous frames. So that way I have a little bit of film strip to work with as well. So I'm going to go ahead and cut those out and get those going, and then I can layer them behind my picture, so that way it creates a more visual effect of things being in front of and behind of and all that good stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and work on my title really quickly, and it's just going to say, "And we're off." So, and these stickers are not sticky at all. So I am just putting them straight onto my layout. I'm not really sure exactly how I want them to go. So I thought maybe I wanted them to go in between the two pictures and it just say, "And we're off." But then I thought, oh, that you really can't read it when the word gets onto the flowers. So I'm going to try to utilize this other frame that I have down here that is a nice, what looks like a solid frame. So I'm going to try to just leave the words there, and it says, "And we're off." I am going to play with them for quite a bit. Excuse me. Those yawns just attack whenever they can. So it says, "And we're off," and I try to do a little bit of an angle. I don't really like it, so I'm going to ignore it for right now because that's how that works. I'm going to pick out some tiny words from this chipboard sticker set. Just some simple little words. I didn't want to go too far because I've got the words that will work on another layout that I want to do as well. And then these chippies. I wanted to add a chipboard to them. I just wasn't sure which one. And at first I thought, oh, the word "smiles" would look really cool and fill in this gap a lot. And then I could use another pattern to fill in the frame. I could do all that stuff. But the word "smile" competed with the title, which says, "And we're off," right? So I decided to go with just this plain simple film strip border right here, or film strip frame. I'm going to ink it up with whatever ink is on my tool, which I'm thinking this is my black soot, but it does come out a little bit on the gray side. So I have to do a couple applications to get it pretty dark. So there we go. I'm going to clean up that little bit really quick just in case it bleeds onto something else I don't want it to bleed onto. And I'm going to hook up my frame. I do want a little bit of, things showing in, inside all the frames and whatnot, and just make it look like it was attached to the picture or to the layout initially. So I didn't really want to change anything up. I also took another tool of mine that has some brown on it. I have no idea what brown it is on it, but I took my tiny words and inked up both edges, just so that way I could, so they weren't so white, basically, is the only reason why I did that. So, like I said, this is pictures of Cindy and myself headed to Wyoming, the retreat that I just got done hosting in Cheyenne, Wyoming. It was fabulous, you guys. And so all three of these layouts are going to be based off of that said retreat. I cannot thank the girls enough for making a random decision of, hey, let's go, especially so close to the holidays. I just appreciate each and every one of them that were able to make it and test it for me and see what they thought of the house and the space and whether or not the catering was worth it. I mean, everything. I just really, really enjoyed the fact that they all took the time to do that with me and test out this little space. And I loved it. I love the fact that it is within driving distance and that I can bring so much to spoil you guys with and all that stuff. So I am super, super stoked. So anyways, I am going to go. I went through all of my die cuts and picked out a few things. Now I picked out this word snapshots just because of the color. I won't be using it, but I did pick out these two little hearts that, again, because of the color, and that was the only thing that was in my little leftover packet. I haven't even broke into my brand new die cut pack that I have for this collection. Not for this photographer collection, but for the Mamarazzi collection. I actually liked the Mamarazzi one more than I liked the photographer one, just because of the fact that I liked the colors in it. The Mamarazzi has more colors, with the pinks and the yellows and the blues and blacks and browns, where the photographer one only has the blues, browns, and blacks. They don't have the other two colors. So that is one of the reasons why I chose the Mamarazzi die cut pack instead of having both collections, right? So that was just a personal choice for me, because this type of, to be honest, this type of layouts and not layouts, but these types of papers are hard for me to work with. Not the Mintay papers. I love the Mintay papers. It's the style. We don't take family portraits. We don't have professional photographer pictures and things like that. It is whatever comes out of my camera for what we have as far as family portraits and things like that, or whatever comes out of friends and other families for portraits. So yeah, that's basically what we have going on. So anyways, just thought I'd give you that rundown too. So when I seen both of these collections, I did not, I didn't think that I would have a whole lot of pictures and things to go with it. But in all honesty, this worked out really well, because it's a whole bunch of scrapbookers headed to a retreat. So why not have the cameras and the lenses and stuff? Because we did end up taking a lot of pictures, to be honest. And it was just so much fun. It really, really was. So anyways, I've got Smile Please with the picture of Cindy and myself. And then I have down by the sunset is taking pictures, or pics, actually. It's a short word of pictures. And so I'm just decorating and adding to what was already there in the background. And it just makes it look like I added so much to this background, when really I'm adding very, very little. I took one floral cluster that had a big yellow flower in it. I cut it in half, so I had that yellow in two different sections. And I mostly did that so that way I had a little bit more yellow showing off for my sunrises. And so I definitely really like that addition to it. And so I wanted to put most of that yellow right here down below my sunset photos and off to the side of my other sunrise. I keep saying sunset. I apologize. And then, of course, I wanted to add a little bit over to the side of Cindy's photo, just because of the fact that I wanted it represented in two different sections, even though the brown that is in this collection is more like dingy yellow. It really is. So I really do like the addition of the yellow and having that warmth on this page. Okay, so I'm going to fiddle some more with my title, and I think I'm going to center it instead of having it staggered, because of the fact that staggering it just looked a little off. So I'm going to do the "and we're off," but I'm going to center it more into this frame as opposed to having it way up high like it was. So once I get it centered, I'm going to go off camera and glue it, and there it is. Now my layout is done. I added very little dimension to this layout because I feel like it already has a lot of dimension and a lot of layers going on, and I absolutely love how it turned out. It was a super simple layout to start us off with this kit. It also shows how to use some of these really busy papers. If you don't like fussy cutting, you can definitely size down your pictures and put them right on top of those frames and just build up the layering with whatever's left over, right? I used the front and the back side of this paper and really had fun layering up all of these pictures and whatnot, and making it look like I did a lot when I really didn't do a lot. All right, you guys, thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I really, truly appreciate it. Don't forget to check out Janet Fritz's channel, who is Galaxy Girl Creations here on YouTube. She is also playing along with this collection, and I am super excited to see what papers she picked out and what photos she picked out, because that was my biggest challenge, was what photos do I pick out for photography? And then it just clicked. Scrapbooking photos. Hello. That makes a lot of sense. All right, you guys, again, thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I really, truly appreciate it. And I will check you guys all later. Bye.